Speed's a little bit faster than it will.
Slayton. All right, we're back. Jay Swanson Memorial. Well, you know Scott Slayton. You've known him for like 100 years.
Yeah, about 50 would probably be pretty close.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
We were both good friends with Jay Swanson.
Yes, you
of
were.
course.
Yeah, this is Mark Arnold speaking, and I'm Mark Griffin. And we're at the Jay Swanson Memorial, the 21st year at On Cue Billiards in San Diego, well, actually La Mesa. And Scott Slayton is playing George Teyechea. I can never pronounce his name. He's from Tucson, anyhow. Teyechea. It's a tongue twister.
But you got Scott's name right. That's the important thing.
It's Teyechea. Wow, it's pronounced as a little bit different. It's spelled. Actually, he's done some commentating for us at the Nationals. He's a good commentator, knowledgeable player.
Yeah, Scott has sort of made a comeback last couple of years. Got himself a 9-foot table at his home and just getting that set up. And his game's really picking up. Like we said, he'd been there for 40, 50 years, and we had a little chat the other night about Swanee and how he would feel about all this. And we think he'd be pretty proud of the way it's all turned out.
I think so. Well, not too many people have a tournament that's in their name the last 21 years.
No, and that's a tribute to Jay.
Yeah.
That people still come back, guys like me, that are dead money. But we do it out of respect for Jay.
Well, that's the thing. It's a social event.
Exactly.
It's not a. But we've got some pretty heavy hitters this year. You got some world beaters here. I mean, you got Rodney Morris, Vilmas Foldis.
My underground sources named Oscar as the early favorite.
Really, I think Vilmas.
Also,
you've got to play good to beat Vilmas, and then Rodney's always very, very, very dangerous. But you got both the Dominguez's,
Well, they came in first and third last year, the Dominguez family. It's going to be hard to improve on that.
True. Well, I didn't play. Well, I'm not playing this year either. I'm like a bye. Yeah. No.
I think I've only missed one or two since '96, which was when Jay actually passed on.
That was the first year. That's the year. Well, that's the year I bought the college billiards, and that's where it all started. John Pinto and Jay Helford had kind of had it in the works, and when I took over the room, we decided to go ahead with it.
Yeah, the first year was just Larry Segawa, me, Mondo, Gomez, a couple of guys threw up a couple of bucks just for the heck of it, and then you picked up the ball and ran with it and made it into the, if I'm not mistaken, the largest tournament on the West Coast.
It was when we opened the field. We had over 200 quite a few years. Then we had to limit it to 192. And you need a big room. And we ran out of pool rooms to do them in, so we are now at 128. We cap it off, and it was full 2 weeks ago.
I remember when you split it up between two of your pool rooms.
Yeah.
And had half of it at the college billiards and half downtown.
Yeah.
Well, San Diego sure misses you as a room owner.
Sure.
You let us get away with a lot.
Yeah, I did upgrade the quality of play in this town, though, because when I moved here, the tables were trash. But,
no, and you're well spoken and well thought of here, let me tell you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Anyhow, Scott is a 629 on the Fargo system, and George is a 658. 658 is starting to get to be a pretty sporty player.
Ooh, nice little kick there. He caught the touch.
Just got a touch of it.
I wonder, do you use the Fargo system to actually look at each match, and this match would be a 9-8 match?
Well, it'll predict. First of all, it races to 8, so it won't be 9-8 anything, but it'll be. Well, you can't count. I understand. And what it does is it'll predict the outcome. So after the first person wins the game, it'll predict mathematically what the odds are of the success of that person or the other person winning the match. Fargo, I still think Fargo is going to change the world of pool. It's having an impact already, but it's when we do the U.S. Open 10 ball and U.S. Open 8 ball this year, we're seeding.
Based on Fargo?
Yeah, based on Fargo, yeah. So, good shot.
Nice shot by
Scott. I played billiards over at College Billiards, my old stomping grounds, and Jay Swanson's homeroom. And I just love heated billiard tables, you know. So it's just, man, it's fun.
Well, he keeps those billiard tables in great shape.
Oh, sure, the guy's he's not a world champion, but he's like a 8-time U.S. champion or something. That's Pedro Bueno. One hell of a player, billiards. Nicest guy in the world, too.
Yes, and a very nice guy, absolutely.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he gives, somebody said, well, how do I learn how to play billiards? He says, you take lessons. He says, well, how do I do that? He says, come to the pool room, I'll just give them to you free. Just how strong is that? You're playing like the best player in the country, and he'll give you a lesson every day.
Right, try and get some free golf lessons from Tiger Woods if you've got a hole in his schedule for us.
Yeah.
Well, I found that when you get down to it, if the guys have the time to talk, that the best players, are very helpful.
Yeah.
And looks like he's got this one, but it's still...
I don't know. This is a 4-inch pocket, and they jar up a lot. No, this pocket went in. That one up there spits them out pretty good. I'm not a fan of taking gold crowns and stuff and making them 4 inches or something like that.
Specifically the Hard Times #1 table is known for
crazy.
And I had to play, for me, a very difficult match against a great player, Sal Butera.
Yeah.
And balls I honestly thought I made just weren't even close.
Yeah.
to my surprise.
Well, but it breaks your confidence down real fast. You'd be surprised, So, and I've seen some really good players play some long matches. I mean, I saw Oscar and John Mora play on that thing, and the end-up score was like 180 games or something they played or something. So it wasn't to 100. Maybe I don't know. I think only 7 racks were run. It turns into a safe fest. You don't even try to, with 4 balls on the table, you don't even try to run them out. So
right. I've seen guys, they play their hole differently. They'll let you shoot it all the way up in the corner down the rail. If you have to, go ahead. It's more of a challenge.
But by the same token, you take somebody of, say, of the Orcolo or Alex, the guys that are so crisp, they still shoot so friggin' straight. It's just mind-blowing.
And they're 1 to 2 feet away every time.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, George wins the first game, and you'll notice the percentages jumped way up. And now it's all things being equal because of the difference in their Fargo starting point. Wow, something rang. So George, all things being equal, would win 74% of the matches when he's one ahead in a race to 8.
So the one game plus the 30-point spread makes a pretty formidable difference.
It does,
in a short match.
and it's 100 points equals twice as good. It's based on like the ELO system, like chess, but so it's it's when you say twice as good, that means if you and I were to play a match and you were a 600 and I was a 500, the score would be 10-5.
Or 8-4 for appropriate for the venue.
Well, that's a lot, And so, I might win. I'll win 1 out of 3.
What I've been really happy about with the Fargo is the responsiveness. I've put 2 or 3 lengthy questions into him, and he responds.
Mike Page is
that was
an
Mike,
amazing
exactly.
dude.
Because the rumor here was, well, if you even got into the Swanee tournament, your rating would go up.
No, see, these people,
Mike proved that to be untrue.
Yeah. I swear people smoke dope or something. I mean, it just they come up with the cockamanious ideas.
We are in California, Mark.
Well, that's right. You guys are going to secede. Is this going to be the country of California?
We're going back to Mexicali, I think.
Yeah.
All right, well, Scott can get a hit here. Oh,
He did.
Good for him. I can't help it, but I've got to root a little bit for the hometown boy.
Yeah. I think George is probably going to take this set down. He's a little more of a controlled player.
No, Scott's very much a stroke and rhythm guy. When he's hitting them good, it's 1, 2, fire, 1, 2, fire. The longer he studies them.
Think long, think wrong, yeah.
Or as they say, analysis leads to paralysis.
Do what now?
Analysis leads to paralysis.
Oh, yeah. Analysis, paralysis by analysis, yep. Now let's see what the percentages do. Because we're only going to 8, the score's going to be 2-0 there.
So I'd say it probably goes to 40.
No, because he's at 74 now. So
right, with the second game.
Yeah. 82% of the time. So it went from 74 to 82. I have seen, because it's numbers, Corey Deuel was behind, I think Shane, and Shane got 2 or 3 games ahead, and he had a 4% chance of winning, and he won the match, or game in went hill or something. So things can happen because it's just math, and and you know how pool is so momentum based, and alternating break. You know, just funny things can happen.
As they say, the balls roll funny for everyone sometimes.
Yeah. So Scott's still doing the air conditioning business.
Yes, he's expanded, and he's trying to transition that over to his son to take care of the business. So Scott and I have a regular thing going with a couple of the old timers. We play a game called Oddball, which is every oddball scores a point and pays money. So if you run 15, that's 8 balls in one rack. When you have older guys, we don't have to run too many to get to the money ball that way.
I thought when you said oddball, you're probably talking about the players.
No, it's an actual game. It's in the BCA rules, and each oddball scores a point, and it's played like rotation. And with 15, well, just like playing regular rotation, it's tough to break and run. I sort of like George's style.
Yeah.
And that he's down to business. He's not talking.
Oh no, he's a real gentleman. He's been around the block a couple of times. Yeah. Got an extra rail in there, but that counts.
If Scott can get a few balls going, he's got a chance. He's not out of this by any means.
No.
George looks very relaxed. 1-2 fire.
Yeah, I think you pronounce his name Teyechea. I'm close. I murdered it earlier, but yeah. You know, these lights we put over this table lights this table up so good. Look at these other tables. Look how it's like really it's like playing in the dark.
At my house, I have 4 8-foot fluorescents on a bar table.
Oh, nice.
I could probably light an aircraft runway with that thing.
Yeah. And if you happen to be watching this thing, it's well, you'll know where it is if you're watching, but it's on our CSI's Facebook page. And just share it and get some people out there, and it's a free feed, so let everybody know that we're doing this.
I've seen a lot of different people doing feeds. Is CSI responsible for this one?
This one's CSI's. Yeah, we've been doing them for years. We've got quite a library on our main page with its YouTube channel. Yeah. So.
Well, I noticed on that last shot, I know Scott pretty well personally, and he did the raise the right leg kick up, and when he's doing that, he's not staying down the ball.
He jumped a little bit up.
Yeah, you can't follow through well. So he's, that's the shot he'll talk about. They make it look so easy.
He plays a lot of one pocket, I believe. He runs around a little bit with Scott Frost, or not runs around with him, but you know. Arizona's got a pretty healthy, or Phoenix, that area has a pretty healthy pool community.
Yeah, I made my first excursion to Derby City last year.
That's entertaining, isn't it?
And it was wonderful. Yeah. It was absolutely wonderful.
Sleep? Did you get sick? See, I can't go out there because I can't afford really to get sick since my surgeries and everything, but you get the flu if you're not careful.
But the air conditioning and the cold back there.
Yeah, and it's contained. It was in the same building for 10 days, but
I paid my money and got the privilege of playing Mr. Frost.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yep.
How'd you like it?
I got out of his break, got up 3-0 on him the first game, at which point he frowned at me. I never saw another shot.
Yeah.
Once I showed any possibility of having success, he buckled down.
Well, you're a capable player. Sometimes.
Well, someone asked me how you playing. Hey, what day is it?
Yeah. Yeah. See, he's really got
That's
good
a
cue
nice
ball
play.
control. See, that's a one pocket shot. You know, just came in, just froze that up on it. Yeah.
Even on the enhanced tables that make it tougher. Safety play will out.
Yeah.
You know, I sort of like the diagonal approach rather than the straight overhead.
For the camera? Well, there's, yeah, we've got 3 cameras, so he's.
Well, you get a little bit of
yeah.
perspective
Yeah.
that way instead of the straight down, where
Yeah.
you could be playing on a 4-foot or a 10-foot table.
Yeah.
You can't tell the difference.
Yeah, our technical guru, Mr. Stephen Kwan, has been pushing all the buttons and everything. Had an issue because the internet's weak here, so we're actually using my phone, so don't call me.
Yeah, that's the Grand Supreme Chancellor of Pool. I'm busy, don't call me. Yeah. I like it.
So when are you going to come up and see a real room? You're going to be there with the room
Oh.
in Vegas.
Want to. The wife had just told me for Valentine's Day I didn't really get her anything good, so she wants to go to a Vegas show. A Cher, a magician,
Yeah.
or one of those. No, I'd come there just to make an appointment with you, sir.
There you go.
Race to 100 for lunch?
I can't count to 100. I haven't played a game of straight pool in a long time. Unless you're playing a race to 100 9-ball or something.
Right.
Yeah, right. That'll take us a week.
No. No, I thought you would start getting some tournaments going over there.
we've
and you
got
probably.
We've got a full plate. We've got the U.S. Open 10-ball, U.S. Open 8-ball, U.S. Opens. These are all going to be in the room. The U.S. Open 1 pocket's going to be in December. We have the NAPT, which is a national. It's a women's tour. Their national is going to be there November 2nd through 5th. We have a monthly tournament.
Now you're referring to Griff's, your
Yeah,
room on
yeah.
Decatur, I believe,
Right.
in Las Vegas.
Decatur and Twain, yeah, at the old Pool Sharks location. It's a very, very nice room. And we have an app. That's great. Just Griff's or Griff's LV, depends if you're on iPhone or Android. And then we'll just give you a push notification of everything that's going on. It's some pretty cool stuff. Technology, I shun from it, but it's some amazing stuff out there.
I had to call someone to hook up my television.
I don't. That doesn't surprise me.
Well, it's a smart TV. They didn't say the owner was smart.
No, I have to say it's stuff is just goofy anymore. But these apps are just the nuts. I mean, it's just amazing.
Well, while we're talking,
See?
George is making quick work of Scott here.
Yes, got 3-zip.
Yeah, George seems to be the steadier player, but
Yeah, I think.
I don't see a huge difference in the abilities if they're both playing. But sometimes it's tough to get by those lights.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured you'd be a world beater now that you're not working. You're just a lazy bum. You can't even play pool, huh?
Life has been really, really good. We've had a little illness in the family, but everybody seems to have come through that well, and really concentrating on having fun.
Yeah. Well, there we go. We're showing a poster of. There's our U.S. Open Straight Pool. That's the next event we're doing. That's actually in Connecticut at Pool Table Magic. It's one day after after Darren Appleton's event in New York, and that's one day after the Alan Hopkins show. So you've got the Hopkins show, which is a 3 or 4 day event. 1 day travel day, and you have Darren Appleton's World Pool Series, and then the 1 day travel, and you have the World's U.S. Open Straight Pool.
I believe that's still, is it correct, Mark Kalungian?
Mark Kalungian, yeah.
Kalungian. Well, I'll get a prize for getting it right.
Yeah, at least you knew who he was, yeah.
Well, I dealt with him before. We
with
made some
Q-sticks.
Q stick
Yeah.
trade. And
Yeah,
I told him that I was friends with you, and he charged me an extra 10%,
I can believe it.
just for the irritation fee.
Yeah.
But no, very nice, very
Yeah.
knowledgeable guy.
Yeah, he's pretty knowledgeable on Q-sticks.
Ran into him in, boy, 96 at the U.S. Open of one pocket. And he ran over and said, "Do you know what you're playing with?" I said, "It's a Zamboni." And he stared at me and said, "No, this is a four-pronged Zamboni Merry Widow, and it's made on, it's made between 62 and 64. And if you ever want to sell it, give me a call." Very knowledgeable guy. All right, well, here's a chance for Scott to get back into the action.
He needs
here.
to do something pretty quickly because, 3-zip is one problem. 4-zip is a bigger problem.
Yeah, I sometimes find myself thinking about the past game.
Yeah, well, that happens. Too much traffic. This is a strong field. I mean, there's some monster players this year. We've had some. When we had the larger fields and like at hard times, we had Alex and Dennis. And, just Santos. Santos has won this and came in second.
Yeah, Santos knocked me out last year.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Fine player. His stroke makes me crazy.
He just had one of his kids graduate from college. He's got quite a few kids. It's amazing that he's accomplished all that. Yeah, I think Scott's in trouble.
Yeah, there's no lonelier feeling than to be on the schneid and everyone's watching. But I've watched Scott play, and if he gets...
at times, I know he's...
Gets loose, he can make balls. Yeah, he's in the 620, 630 range.
Which is pretty strong. That's a very capable player. The minute you crack 600, you're,
Yeah, Mike was very good on the Fargo about being responsive to my questions and how it worked, and I showed it around. And
yeah, it's just going to take a few years to get more data on more players. But there's over 100,000 people in the system, and everybody that's good. You take Shane, I think, has like 9,000 games in the system. He could not make a ball, or he could never miss for a month. It probably won't have a whole lot of difference. There's so much, it's kind of like a bowling average to a degree.
Right, I think, a very robust is the term.
Yeah.
I think 600 or 700 matches.
You did?
Yeah, and I called up with the natural complaint, I'm rated too high. And he said, but the number of matches you have, you're right. Everybody else in the country could be wrong, but you've got enough matches into where we've got you right.
Yeah. Bang.
Oh, there we go.
That was an interesting shot.
There we go. Two-railer on the side. Had a possible...
Well, I kicked it, too.
Kick it? Yeah, had a chance to get behind those balls in the middle.
Yeah.
Now if he can just make this. There you go. Didn't see that right leg pop up that time.
Hit that one pretty good.
Oh, he does, and he's not afraid of distant shots.
Yeah. I sure didn't care for the shape.
But he's not even taking the one warm-up stroke now.
No, he's,
just zero in.
Oops. He rushed that one just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. He was starting to get a little groove there, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Scott well, and he's got a little, as we all get when we get older, he's got a little bit of a tremor. Nice one.
4-zip. Race to 8. So that means Scott's got to win 8 games before George wins 3 games. Because if he gets, wins the 4th one, it's over with.
Well, you always have a chance. To me, the great equalizer in this tournament is the fact that it's alternate breaks.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a chance.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, your opponent breaks dry one time, you got a chance to
Sure.
have 3 racks without him getting to the table.
And now the odds are 94-6. So if they were playing 100 times at this point, Scott would win 6 matches.
94-6 for an 88%. Well, when he watches it on TV, at least I can say I was rooting for him.
Yeah, right. Well,
have you ever had any feedback about your commentary? Someone thought they were being treated unfairly or not credited enough? Are the players fairly sensitive about that? Or
they can be, but I don't. If this is a free feed, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and it's a courtesy. But one time I commentated a match, and I got beat up really badly on it. But the players was Dennis and somebody, Dennis O'Colion. I can't remember. They were playing terrible, and terribly, I guess I should say. Everything's evolving. It's hard to get really good, solid commentators if you're doing a high-quality match.
Should I take that personally? No, this is fun, and whenever my game is in a little bit of a rut, there's nothing I enjoy more than seeing the best players and what they're able to do.
That's a bad little ticky off the 9 ball.
Okay.
Off the pocket. This could help Scott grab a little air. I find that if I'm not playing very much, or I'm in a little bit of slump, and if somebody likes, because I'm a certified instructor, and you point a couple things out, and it pounds it in your own head, like, don't move, don't do this, don't do that. Just maybe that's what I'm doing.
Right, things that you've forgotten about in your everyday.
If you keep it simple, it makes things a lot simpler. So I don't know. Pool's still one of the best games there is. I hesitate to call it a sport. It just is. I mean, you can play it till you're 90 years old. It's. See what it does here. Yeah, when he gets his rhythm going, he plays pretty fast.
Yes, he does. He's what I call a two-stroke player.
Yeah.
1, 2, bang. There you go. It gets so easy. You can't miss it. There you go.
41 on the board. And this is a race to 8. The whole tournament's a race to 8 on the winner's side, race to 7 on the losers. And it's a 2-day event, 128 players. I think we ended up finishing around close to midnight last year.
Clyde, the room owner here, a great guy, very knowledgeable. I asked him how much they budgeted per round for a race to 8, given the number of tables. He said probably an hour 15, an hour and a half. For a race to 8, but you're going to have situations where some of these players and the powerful breaks they have, they can get out in 4 minutes.
Yeah, but you just never know what these races are going to be. We're playing this first available table, so it's not a timed situation. So.
And I think the tables are playing a little sluggish today because we had a huge rain last night.
Yeah, the rain, it poured.
I had a power failure at my house.
Really? Okay. I can't tell if he's going to go for this or play safe. I think he's going for it. Yeah.
Oh, he's a go for it kind of guy. And to me, you got a couple of questionable balls in there.
Yeah.
Start out with something easy.
Well, look what he left, see?
Shot. I should be listening and not talking.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. There's so much luck in pool. Bad luck and good luck. Good hit.
Yep, but I think the best posture, the best strategy, the best tactics gets there majority of the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. you and I have both been playing pool for, I don't know, 50 years, 60 years. And the only table in this room, well, there's two of them that are green cloth. It's the billiard table and the snooker table. And they're so dark compared to this tournament pool. It's kind of mind-blowing, how anybody could even play on those green. Of course, then you go to a bar and you run into red cloth or something like that. It really makes your day.
Yeah, we prefer crimson. Well, the worst thing I ever saw was a bar and grill steakhouse combination place, and they had decided black cloth.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
But look, it showed every mark, every divot, every piece of chalk, everything you possibly could not keep it clean.
Scott's still struggling. He did quite a few things. A lot of movement that last shot. Well, that was a good little shot. Soft rolling bank shot.
Yep, and it just seems like the other guy's balls are always closer to the hole than yours are. Little misstep. If he's a one-pocket player, I'll bet he'd shoot the two-rail kick and try and make the 4 behind the 5. But he's going the other way.
It was a little misstep. Yeah, he didn't give up one. That's almost the worst spot it could be in.
Yeah, that's what I call a challenge shot here, and I dare you to make it.
Yeah.
Scott has no fear.
Yeah, well. If it was further, he wouldn't have to worry about the scratch. Oh, he did. Wow. Yeah. I thought it was a little closer to the side pocket. I didn't realize, I figured you'd do much to it.
Yeah, that angle, if you catch the point on either side, not going to go in. Yeah, his body and arm, he's all over the place.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he started getting body.
He also has an occasional tremor.
Yeah.
As we all get that kind of stuff from various things. So.
Only old people. I don't have those yet.
My dad said don't get old, and I didn't listen to him.
He did go that way. Well, two-way shot. Bank the 9 or carry him into the 9. Or bank the 6. Carry him in.
Yeah, you can see the one-pocket skills, just the cue ball speed more than anything else. The automatic two-way shots that he shoots without having to think about it.
Yeah.
A different way.
Ouch.
Yeah, he almost left the ground with both feet. He backed up so far.
These are hard shots. It's probably banking. Supposed to cut him, I think. Yeah, well, good shot. That's an easy shot to hit fat.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so easy to hit fat.
A little skid.
Yeah, so now we're 4-2. So it was 90-10. Let's see what it goes to. And again, that's going to say that's based on Fargo, so.
Calculating.
Yeah. So it changed probably 10 points. It was 92, and now it's 83. So. Yeah.
Well, it's about 5-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll see this match tighten up a little bit once Scott gets a couple butterflies out.
Yeah.
He'll start making balls more regularly. Yeah, knowing how popular this event always is, I came down the night before, parked my van in the parking lot so I'd have a little place to retreat to should I get a spare moment.
Yeah, that's assuming you're in the tournament long enough to need. You're a positive thinker, aren't you?
Absolutely. I haven't got time to do anything else. I sure like playing.
I'm going to try to start playing again. I'm enjoying the game more when I do play. It's a little more.
Well,
When
that's
you're younger,
what attracts everybody in the first place, is watching those pretty balls roll around.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I sort of concentrated on business the last few years, and I've learned, I really miss it. I'm still playing fairly regular, have a table at home and such, but you can practice as long as you want to, but it's not the same as being in the moment.
Practicing is, I admire people who can practice, somebody like Shane, but I've never been a practicing person. It's just, which shows me I'm just not mentally strong enough. I mean, it takes to really practice properly, you have to apply yourself.
That's what my teachers told me. I wasn't applying myself.
Well, I can agree with them. Yeah, he even runs with that, his whole shoulder.
Yeah, you
and
saw
everything
the
drops. Foot,
the
everything.
right leg. That's his key.
Yeah. We don't
And
want to
now
beat
is-
him up too much.
Oh no.
This is a fun tournament. It's it's an institution. Say 21 years. San Diego to L.A. to San Diego.
Well, yeah, right. We had Hollywood and
Had Hollywood Billiards for like 5 years or so, and then Hard Times for 3 or 4 years.
and that was a fun room. I thought
Yeah.
that was always enjoyable.
Now Hollywood Billiards, shortly after our last one, he turned into a nightclub, put red cloth on. And I don't even think it's still a room, is it? Is it?
I've not heard of any
Yeah.
type of tournaments or.
I think it was. It originally was a car dealership. I mean, way back when. I mean, that's because it's.
Well, yeah, you can see a showroom being in there.
Yeah, because of the balcony and everything. I just had the offices up there. And, yeah, it was really a nice building. I liked it. Yeah, but for years this was the largest big table weekend tournament in the country. We usually cut it off, but one year we found some. It was kind of odd. One of the counter people was taking names and kind of forgot to tell me, and I filled it up. And then she says, "Well," somebody comes up and says, "Well, where's my name?" I said, "What are you talking about?" And she comes, Linda. Remember Linda Truitt?
Yeah. Ooh.
She came over and gave me 8 names or something like that. So now I had to open it up, and we ended up with 214 that year, and we turned away 10 or 20 people. But that was an interesting weekend.
Well, you've really made something special out of what was a little bitty thing, and you've made it special without totally commercializing
Yeah.
it. You kept some San Diego in San Diego.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we've got some people I think played a very like Red with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah, Red's a veteran.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ernie Gutierrez, another
Yeah.
longtime San Diego.
Ernie Rivas.
Rivas. Why did I say Gutierrez?
Because Q-stick's on
confused.
your mind. Yeah.
Did you hear about that thing?
Yes. Yeah. Hey, nobody wants to kill elephants, but I'll tell you something. That's not what's causing the problem. Just another one of bureaucracy, but we don't need to get into the politics.
Oh no, pool's much more fun.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, Ernie came to my pool room last week. He was made the trek to Las Vegas to enjoy the finer things in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're planning a little sojourn over there. We have a little timeshare over on not far, Decatur and Trop, not far from where you are.
Oh no, you're close. Oh, I hate being on the rail. It just makes things harder. It's not too bad like this one, but
Who was the great player who said there's 3 things about pool? Stay off the rail, stay off the rail, stay off the rail.
I don't know. Wasn't me.
I think I was born on the rail. Yeah, Scott participated in the interviews that
Yes, when you're doing the
they did a couple
documentary,
years ago. Yeah.
or Hard Times, the documentary on Swanee. I'm not sure, that part of that was, I saw kind of a finished product. It was Daniel Bush, what's his last name?
Scott and I, Louis Ulrich.
Yeah, but those are the people that spoke.
Right.
I was referring to the guys that were behind the scenes making it. It was Doug Wu was part of it.
Yes, he was.
Daniel Bush from POV streaming, and but yeah, Louis Ulrich spoke. You did.
Frank the Barber.
Frank Almanza. Yeah.
I love Frank. He's so understated. He didn't say he lost. He just said, "I played Jay Swanson and I probably stuck around longer than I should have." Not saying I'm not admitting I lost. You got to read between the lines.
Well, I never really got to see Swanee play twice, and it was way past his prime. But he was kind of one of the elite players on the big money matches. I mean, they'd take him over fly him to the East Coast and have these, nobody knew who he was back then. See, you didn't have the internet. It was a whole different, everything was just different.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Swanee, back then he would play pretty big matches. Billy the Kid Aguero, Dan Louis came down all the time, Mauro Paez, and those guys were always jostling for position one over the other. It was nice when they came to San Diego. They knew they'd have to get by Jay. Seen a lot of good players come to San Diego and get stuck.
Yeah. Well, I was saying earlier that when I bought college billiards, I didn't realize that San Diego had that much talent. It was like a little pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You had like 10 players that are liable to beat anybody. And Roy the Cook, Louis Ulrich, Jeff Beckley, Sam Manoli. When Sam Manoli was in gear, he could do things with a cue ball that almost nobody could do.
Sam had great focus. Great focus.
Yeah.
Well, a 6-2 lead here is going to be tough to overcome.
Yeah.
George probably stay inside the 7. No, he bounces off.
Ooh.
That's, well.
That ball was pretty good authority, though. Because this is, again, remember, this is a tight pocket, so you don't want to hit it clean, they'll go in. Oh, he's spinning it?
Trying to get down lower.
Oh, I don't know. Wow.
He sure put a lot. He turned that ball over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have expected him to center ball it, just go back and forth and take what you get.
Yeah.
But that's why we're commentating and they're playing.
Was that the reason?
One of many.
One of many. You're so generous. That doesn't look very healthy. He got lucky it's not still sitting in the pocket.
Absolutely. I mean, you hit the ball pretty firm to bounce it that far out of the pocket. Well, he's a shot maker. I wouldn't be surprised to see him.
Well, it's on the rail, I
this
think.
And the magic number is, I predict 17.
Yeah, he's going to, reboot something. We broke it.
As frequently occurs.
Maybe my phone got a call since we're on my phone. The internet service is pretty weak.
Make sure you're not butt dialing yourself.
Yeah.
How do you, just for our viewers and listeners, how do you determine what's the best match for
the best match?
A TV table? Is it just...
As you weed through it, you get some stronger players. It's a lot easier. First round, you just have to see who's available. And now we're at 85-15 percentage.
Ooh. That 9 was headed like a rocket.
Yeah, and it counts anywhere. A lot of people that are playing 9-ball, it doesn't count in the end pockets, doesn't count here, doesn't count there. And it's just kind of 9-ball's a slop game. If you want to play call shot, play 10-ball.
I agree.
You're messing with the rules. Of course, it's hey, anybody can do whatever they want, but it's that's not 9-ball. And just got him about a half a ball.
Now 5-3. That's not impossible. I think 15% might be a little low there.
Well, are you a mathematician, sir? I didn't figure so.
Why do you ask me a question you already know the answer to? Just, no, I'm not.
A lawyer in practicing.
Nice.
Yeah. But numbers are funny because if George gets 3 games, he's won. So really, you've got to go. Scott has to win 5 games, and George can't win over 2 games.
Right, but if Scott were to win 1 game, it's 5-4. It can't get any closer than that.
Yeah. Well, the numbers probably change really big as he wins a game. Let's see if he does. Yeah, and we don't compute. We just go to the Fargo rate system and punch the 2 numbers in, and it spits it out. It's all. Yeah, I felt jail coming up on that shot. He's lucky he didn't freeze up on it. And for years we didn't allow the jump cue in this tournament. Now we do allow jump cues. I'm not a fan of jump cues. So I just don't like it.
I think it's the biggest single turnaround in technology. That just being hooked is just nothing anymore.
Well, yeah, but it's supposed to be something.
It's
And I just. But fans love to see jump cues. That's the favorite shot of the TV crowds and everything. But,
all right. Well, here's the big shot of the match.
This is a huge shot.
Taking this intentionally, where he could shoot it in the side and run him.
No, he's going for the combo.
Yep.
I'm the world's worst combo player. Dang.
Well, when you followed in with the cue ball, that generally means you hit it right on the nose.
Yeah. 6-3.
Yeah, I wrote a letter to him, Mike of Fargo, and asked him, because I'd been playing for a number of years, and I said, as we're getting older, our games generally decline. Am I still paying for the wins I had 20 years ago? And he sent me a very cogent, very to-the-point email.
You had half dates every.
Yeah, it has a half-life of
years?
every 3 years, exactly.
Yeah.
Which seemed, that's a nice formula. I can understand.
Yeah, it makes sense. You have to. I mean, the ideal situation is you're measuring everybody that's got current knowledge and this and that, but the reality is not everybody does, And
I think some of the players of our era might have a tough time competing today. I think the quality of play is a little bit sharper.
Well, the thing that surprises me is, and the prime example of that is when the Chinese kid that wins the world championship at 16. I mean, obviously he didn't have 16 years of experience, so you'd only been playing for like 6-7 years, and he's a world champion. Back when I was playing, in 6 or 7 years, you might have run a rack. Everything moves so much faster now, and I'm not sure if it's because there's so much technology out there. You can see the tapes, and you see this, and you see that. But it's amazing.
Well, I don't know that anybody really ever shot jump cues before the 70s, before Earl popularized it.
Well, actually, Billy Graves.
Graves, he
was one of the first people, and he actually he convinced me, or talked me and convinced me that he showed Earl how to jump. And that was back in the probably late 70s or
That
80s.
was at Table 1 at College Billiards. I happened to be there.
Yeah.
There was a great player and a great guy named Bobby Taylor that brought Earl into town and said, Earl, I have to take care of something. I want you to stay here in the hotel. There's only two things. Don't go to College Billiards. Don't play Billy Graves.
And
by the time Taylor got back, Earl was going broke to Billy. And Taylor was so mad, he wouldn't send him back to North Carolina. He made him win his way back.
Earl is one of a kind. But that's because he wanted to play the best.
Yep.
The guy has no backup, and he's, one nice thing you have to admire about him is he'll never dump, never do anything crosswise. He just does flaky stuff because he's sometimes not straight in the head. But as far as raw talent, unbelievable.
I saw him at Derby City last year and made the mistake. It was like, I think they were going to 8. The opponent's got 6, and Earl hangs the ball, pushes it down and gives it to him, which in that format not only loses that game, but the next
one,
game
yeah.
and the session,
Yeah.
all in one fell swoop.
Now notice your percentages. In a race to 8, when the score is George Teyechea has 7 and Scott has 3, George is going to win this 98% of the time.
You're willing to put your neck out on that?
Yeah,
that bold prediction. I like
think
that.
I'll make a bet on George. If it was winter breaks, it's a little different story sometimes.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that makes good players but not great players have a chance here, is that they can't put 5 on you.
Yeah, right.
They got to beat you one at a time.
Get your roll out. Yeah, I got there. Yeah, Fran Smith used to play in this event. She played the first, 15 years.
Yes, bless her heart. Everybody loves Franny.
Yeah. I haven't seen her in a couple of years.
Yeah, she operates a little BCA league here in town and got that going pretty strong. Yeah, I remembered we wanted to start up a league so I could qualify for Vegas. There was no league in San Diego. And I read the BCA handbook, and it said contact your local vendors and see if they want to contribute. So first thing I did was call you up and ask for some free swag, which you generously provided.
Did I? What did I give you?
A cue stick.
Oh.
I think it was made, but it might have been a Balabushka retro type. Actually, it had a joint on it and wrapping and everything. I knew it was a mistake, but...
Wow. I must have felt guilty.
Yep, the player said, so what's the MVP play? Cue stick. No, really, what's it pay? Cue stick.
Yeah.
But that got it going, and since then, now the BCAPL has really taken a huge foothold.
Actually, I look back and we've actually accomplished a lot of things for pool. Got a few more in the trying to.
Yeah, I guess that pool man of the year thing doesn't hurt too bad.
That was a few years ago,
Everything you did was a few years ago.
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay.
Now we're at 7-4.
Probably doubled his chances.
Probably. Oh. This isn't a bad room. It's about 8,000 feet, 7,000 feet, 21 9-footers, I think. A billiard table, 6x12 snooker table, and 2 bar boxes.
It is, and Clyde's what we like to call. He's a player's owner.
Is he?
He's very responsive to the guys, and he'll get up and play in some of the bar league situations.
Yeah.
He's an owner rather than a player primarily. But he started out as a player, and I think I like that better than, the former owner of the shopping center, who was strictly in there for the business.
Oh, yeah. I had my dealings with him. So. I assume the estate still owns the shopping center. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they were. Dave Witzel called me and wanted to get out of the lease. He had some problems with those guys. They want him to redo everything. He was forever in my debt because I told him how to put in a clause where he could keep his dog as a companion animal, and they couldn't keep him out. Once the dog gets certified, and the owner of the center was a little bit peeved.
Wow.
That's okay.
I had some issues with him. Ron Greenfield or Greenberg?
Greenberg.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually supposed to buy the room, and he went sideways right when we were at first signing.
Nice try on the cross over there. He didn't quite get there. Just one shot to get loose. That wasn't it.
Yeah, you tried staring. I was watching on the TV, and it just the follow through was like 3 feet out of line and a little bit of shoulder lunge. The mechanics of pool are critical.
Well, there are so many moving parts.
Well, the key is to make as few as possible, and it's and get a consistency, which is the pre-shot routine, PSR.
I heard a funny line the other day. It says, if you want something that is mechanical and will repeat the same motion over and over without fail, get a drill press. Because the human body has too many moving parts to function perfectly every time.
Yeah.
Now there's an out where he had a pretty good start and handed it over to Scott.
I'm just looking around. There's quite a few people in there. I don't know how many spectators or how many players, but there's 120 people in here or something. Well, there's got to be. There's 128 players.
So you're the mathematician.
Well, they're not all here.
Oh, I mean, I came up last night and parked my car here.
Yeah.
It's a close hit lunch, and I don't want to watch it.
Oh, okay. Just turn me down. I'll go watch. Get to watch.
Yeah, Mark's been called away from the table for a minute, so we'll just keep watching and see if George gets his final game or if Scott can make a little comeback. Well, George has had the lead all along, but he's now looks like he's given back a little bit, give back a couple games. He's a very safe player. Known to play a lot of one pocket, and I think it really shows up in his game. He's got great cue ball speed. Oh. That could be big. I haven't seen George miss many kicks. Yeah, automatically goes for the safe. And couldn't hit it too much better. Ooh. Might catch the 8. Oh. Scott's got a chance to get right back in this if he can get out here and make it 7-5. He stroked that pretty well. See what he's got in store for this. Not sure about that one. That's a great shot. Come up short, he could catch the point, but unfortunately, it looks like George is going to have a 1, 2, 3 out. And looks like he's got this one, but it's still...
I don't know. This is a 4-inch pocket, and they jar up a lot. Now, this pocket went in. That one up there spits them out pretty good. I'm not a fan of taking gold crowns and stuff and making them 4 inches or something like that.
No, specifically the Hard Times #1 table is known for being... And I had to play, for me, a very difficult match against a great player, Sal Butera.
Yeah.
And balls I honestly thought I made just weren't even close.
Yeah.
to my surprise.
Well, but it breaks your confidence down real fast. You'd be surprised, So, and I've seen some really good players play some long matches. I mean, I saw Oscar and John Mora play on that thing, and the end-up score was like 180 games or something they played or something. So it wasn't to 100. Maybe it was, I don't know. I think only 7 racks were run. It turns into a safe fest. You don't even try to, with 4 balls on the table, you don't even try to run them out. So
right, I've seen guys, they play their hole differently. They'll let you shoot it all the way up in the corner down the rail. If you have to, go ahead. It's more of a challenge.
But by the same token, you take somebody of, say, the Orcolo or Alex, the guys that are so crisp, they still shoot so friggin' straight. It's just mind-blowing.
And they're 1 to 2 feet away every time.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, George wins the first game, and you'll notice the percentages jumped way up. And now it's all things being equal because of the difference in their Fargo starting point. Wow, something rang. So George, all things being equal, would win 74% of the matches when he's 1 ahead in a race to 8.
So the one game plus the 30-point spread makes a pretty formidable difference.
It does,
in a short match.
and it's 100 points equals twice as good. It's based on like the ELO system, like chess, but so it's it's when you say twice as good, that means if you and I were to play a match and you were a 600 and I was a 500, the score would be 10-5.
Or 8-4 for appropriate for the video.
Well, that's a lot, And so, I might win. I'll win 1 out of 3.
What I've been really happy about with the Fargo is the responsiveness. Owner.
Sure.
You let us get away with a lot.
I did upgrade the quality of play in this town, though, because when I moved here, the tables were trash. But,
no, and you're well spoken and well thought of here, let me tell you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Anyhow, Scott is a 629 on the Fargo system, and George is a 658. 658 is starting to get to be a pretty sporty player.
Ooh, nice little kick there. He caught the touch.
Just got a touch of it.
I wonder, do you use the Fargo system to actually look at each match, and this match would be a 9-8 match?
Well, it'll predict. First of all, the race is to 8, so it won't be 9-8 anything, but it'll be. Well, you can't count. I understand. And what it does is it'll predict the outcome. So after the first person wins the game, it'll predict mathematically what the odds are of the success of that person or the other person winning the match. Fargo, I still think Fargo is going to change the world of pool. It's having an impact already, but it's when we do the U.S. Open 10-ball and the U.S. Open 8-ball this year, we're seeding.
Based on Fargo?
Yeah, based on Fargo, yeah. So, good shot.
Nice shot by
See what we got
Scott.
here. I played billiards over at college billiards, my old stomping grounds, and Jay Swanson's homeroom. And I just love heated billiard tables, So that's just, it's fun.
Well, he keeps those billiard tables in great shape.
Sure, the guy's he's not a world champion, but he's like a 8-time U.S. champion or something. It's Pedro Bueno. One hell of a player, billiards. Nicest guy in the world, too.
Yes, and a very nice guy, absolutely.
And he gives, somebody said, well, how do I learn how to play billiards? He said, you take lessons. He says, well, how do I do that? He says, come to the pool room, I'll just give them to you free. How strong is that? You're playing like the best player in the country, and he'll give you a lesson every day.
Right, try and get some free golf lessons from Tiger Woods if you've got a hole in his schedule for us.
Yeah.
Well, I found that when you get down to it, if the guys have the time to talk, that the best players, are very helpful.
Yeah. Pronounce is a little bit different than spelled. Actually, he's done some commentating for us at the Nationals. He's a good commentator, knowledgeable player.
Yeah, Scott has sort of made a comeback last couple of years, got himself a 9-foot table at his home and just getting that set up, and his game's really picking up. Like we said, he'd been there for 40, 50 years, and we had a little chat the other night about Swanee and how he would feel about all this, and we think he'd be pretty proud of the way it's all turned out.
I think so. Well, not too many people have a tournament that's in their name last 21 years.
No, and that's a tribute to Jay.
Yeah.
That people still come back, guys like me, that are dead money. But we do it out of respect for Jay.
Well, that's the thing. It's a social event.
Exactly.
It's not but we've got some pretty heavy hitters this year. You got some world beaters here. I mean, you got Rodney Morris, Vilmos Foldis,
My underground sources named Oscar as the early favorite.
Really? I think Vilmos.
Also,
You've got to play good to beat Vilmos. And then Rodney's always very, very, very dangerous. But you got both the Dominguez's,
Well, they came in first and third last year, the Dominguez family. It's going to be hard to improve on that.
True. Well, I didn't play. Well, I'm not playing this year either. I'm like a bye. Yeah. No.
I think I've only missed one or two since '96, which was when Jay actually passed on.
That was the first year. That's the year. Well, that's the year I bought the college billiards, and that's where it all started. John Pinto and Jay Helford had kind of had it in the works, and when I took over the room, we decided to go ahead with it.
Yeah, the first year was just Larry Segawa, me, Mondo, Gomez, a couple of guys threw up a couple bucks just for the heck of it, and then you picked up the ball and ran with it and made it into the, if I'm not mistaken, the largest tournament on the West Coast.
It was when we opened the field. We had over 200 quite a few years. Then we had to limit it to 192. And you need a big room. And we ran out of pool rooms to do them in, so we are now at 128. We cap it off. And it was full 2 weeks ago.
I remember when you split it up between two of your pool rooms.
Yeah.
And had half of it at the college billiards and half downtown.
Yeah.
Well, San Diego sure misses you as a room.
Slayton. All right, we're back. Jay Swanson Memorial. Well, you know Scott Slayton. You've known him for like 100 years.
Yeah, about 50 would probably be pretty close.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
We were both good friends with Jay Swanson.
Yes, you were.
folks.
Yeah, this is Mark Arnold speaking, and I'm Mark Griffin. And we're at the Jay Swanson Memorial, the 21st year at On Cue Billiards in San Diego, well, actually La Mesa. And Scott Slayton is playing George Teyechea. I can never pronounce his name. He's from Tucson, anyhow. Teyechea. It's a tongue twister.
But you got Scott's name right. That's the
Yeah,
important
well,
thing.
it's Teyechea. Teyechea. Wow.